travelling guitar. If you enjoy this video, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button, and while you're there, why not leave me a like? It makes a big difference in keeping this channel going. Okay, so let's dive in. Gustav Holst, Boris Karloff, and the birth of heavy metal. What's the connection? Well, the birth of heavy metal is one of those things that people debate. When was the first heavy metal song? Was it the Beatles playing Helter Skelter? What about Jimi Hendrix? Was it his distortion and feedback? Was it even the Kinks when they slashed the speaker cones in their amps? The one thing that people do tend to agree on, though, is that the first real heavy metal band was this one. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's Black Sabbath, right? Wrong. At this point, they're not Black Sabbath. At this point, they're called Earth. And if you're wondering where the name came from, apparently somebody heard them play and said, "What on earth is that noise?" I wasn't there. Anyway, if you're also thinking, this doesn't really sound like a heavy metal band, you'd also be right, because they weren't even a heavy metal band at this point. They were a Midlands-based blues outfit. They were acquiring a certain following, they had a certain popularity, but they weren't yet in possession of whatever it was, that missing thing that was going to take them to the next level. So anyway, one rainy afternoon in Birmingham, Tony Iommi takes himself off to the cinema to go and see a low-budget Italian horror movie, and while he's there, he has a light bulb moment, quite literally. And he says to himself, why don't we have a
band that would be like a horror movie?
Now, it probably won't surprise you to learn that the name of this low-budget horror movie in English was none other than Black Sabbath, starring Boris Karloff. So, we've now got an image, we've got a name. What do we need? Some music. And if you're going to call yourself Black Sabbath and have a band that's like a horror movie, you've got to have some music that's going to back that up. And that's where this guy comes in. Now, you might be thinking at first sight, this man doesn't look like your average gnarly heavy metal rocker, but you'd be right, because it's not. He's Gustav Holst, best known for the Planet Suite. And the best known movement in the Planet Suite is this one, Mars, the bringer of war. Now, in another little strange quirk of fate, it just so happens that Geezer Butler was a fan of Gustav Holst. And, well, why don't we let Geezer tell you the story?
I was a medium-sized fan of Holst, the Planet Suite, particularly Mars in those days. And one of the days I was in the, we were rehearsing and I was trying to play Mars. And then the next day, Tony went in and went, and that's the way how Black Sabbath came about.
Okay, so there you have it. That's how a low-budget Italian horror movie starring Boris Karloff helped to inspire Black Sabbath, and how Gustav Holst's The Planet Suite was the basis for one of the most iconic riffs in the history of heavy metal. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more content like this, please remember to hit the subscribe button, and while you're there, why not leave me a like? And if you'd like to know more about this riff and what is the Diabolus in Musicala, check out my next video.